Beat from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and this is my segment on real estate that we do every Monday. And I have a guest most of the time, and today it is Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi, everybody.
Sam is from Farha Roofing, and Sam and I get to work together a lot because it's Kansas, and we have a lot of problems with roofs here in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have a listing, sometimes I call you out ahead of time and said, can you come and look at the roof just to analyze it for the seller? Because sometimes the seller has only lived in the house a couple of years and it's been the same roof. He didn't have any problems with it. So what do you look for when you climb up on a roof?
So basically, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see the condition of the roof, whether or not it's something where we can come in and do a replacement on it, or something we need to do a full replacement or a repair on it versus a full replacement. Another thing we will look for is if it has storm-related damage, so that we can get insurance involved with it. Most of the time, people like it if insurance can cover 90% of your roof. It's usually a slam dunk for them.
Right. So what do you look for when you're up there? You're looking for, I know it's called like a divot in the roof. It looks like a golf ball's basically hit the top of the roof, correct?
Yep, pretty much. What it is an impact mark where that hail has hit the shingles and it's prevented the water shedding capabilities of that shingle. So think of your roof. It's got on a composition shingle roof, you've got everything is sealed down. So if we've got a penetration in that roof, water's going to get under it, and therefore you're going to have a leak on the inside. So that's a huge red flag for us if we got a divot in the shingle.
Okay, so when you get up on the roof and you see all these little pocky marks, you know you have hail damage. We've also seen roofs that are just basically what I call missing the sand. Shingle to me looks like sand glued upon a piece of cardboard. That's what a shingle looks like to me and probably most people. So we've actually seen roofs without any sand on the shingle. What happens then?
Yeah, and what you're referring to is called the granules in the shingles. So shingles will naturally degranulate themselves, but if there's an excessive loss of shingle or granules, then we've got a problem where there could be the shingles are getting too hot, or there's even something further where they had a manufacturer defect and those shingles are just in fact failing.
So a way to keep your shingles from being too hot is to put those vents in it, and we've seen many brand new roofs where other roofing companies have not put any roofs. For instance, I have a 1,200 square foot house, and I have, I think, 5 vent roofs on the west side of my house. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't face the street, doesn't look ugly, but so explain what a roof vent does and how many you would need per square foot.
Okay, so the roof vent that you're going to see up on top of your roof, the little metal box, it's going to be your exhaust vent. That's where all the hot air is getting released out of the attic. At the base of your roof, you got your roof. You want to have soffit vents here where that cool air is being pulled in your roof, and then you've got your metal exhaust vents up here where it's letting that heat out.
Right.
If you have a combo of those two, you're doing good. You're getting your house to that equilibrium or the middle point where it's going to be energy efficient.
So when you go up into your attic, for instance, you go into your little manholes, they call them scuttles.
Well, I don't fit in them too well.
Yeah, he's super tall. So if you get into your scuttle and you have to send somebody small like me, and I've done it before, and it's super hot in your attic, you know that you may not have roof vents, correct?
Yep. And they're pretty obvious. I mean, if you look up on a roof and it doesn't have a ridge vent sitting at the top, and you don't see those little metal vents at the back, on either side of the roof.
We're talking about a little box that looks like this. We're not talking about the tubular vents.
No. This thing sits pretty profile with the roof. It's like a little hump. We call them turtlebacks. It's like a turtle sitting up on your roof.
Okay. So you go up on the roof. We have pock marks or divots, and we've got missing granules. So the next thing that you'll want to do is work with their insurance company. So tell us a little, so my seller would call his insurance company, and we would make an appointment like 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and
Correct.
You would come out and meet with that insurance company. Tell us the benefit of doing that.
So what's good about that is when we meet with the adjuster, we can get everything figured out then, instead of having to come back and saying, hey, you guys, you missed this. We need to get an additional amount, whatever that figure is, to get that replaced. You can discuss it with the adjuster. They can see the damage. You see the damage. It just makes the transaction a lot smoother. Then we basically walk with the homeowner through the whole process to where all they have to focus is their deductible and pick a color.
Yeah, and picking a color is actually a really interesting part of owning a house because you don't want it to fight with the color of your body or your trim of your house, and you don't want it to complement it so much that it makes your house look bland. I've had a lot of people go, well, I have a tan house, so I'm going to do a tan roof, and then it looks like the most boring house ever. You don't want to go crazy and do a green roof that looks like AstroTurf, but
not that either.
Yeah, but there are shingles that look like that.
Yeah, every now and again.
Okay, and then there's different types of roofing materials. So we talked about composite, but there's also clay roofing, flat roofing. What else do we have?
Yeah, I mean, basically your most common is going to be your composition, your composite roof, and then you've also got wood shake roofs. You've got your tile, your concrete. Then you start getting in your flat roofs, and you've got standing seam on, standing seam metal, and then you've got a couple of different membranes out there.
Okay.
But yeah, there's probably 5 that you're gonna deal with.
So tell me the difference between a 30-year roof and a 50-year roof or an impact-resistant roof.
So basically, with the composition shingles, you've got a 3-tab, which is going to be like your 25-year roof, and then you move into your 30-year architectural. That's what's going to be your actual shingle, or what I would call is a real shingle.
Right.
From there, you have that same type of shingle, but they make it a class 4. Some of them are called an SBS modified shingle, where it's got a compound in there that kind of helps that hail bounce off a little bit. It's not hail proof. If you got big enough stuff coming in, it's gonna hurt it, but might get you through a couple of storms where the other ones won't.
Right. That's what I have on my roof, and all my neighbors keep coming over going, why don't you have to have a roof replaced? And I'm like, because I got that one. And it also helps with the cost on your insurance as well.
Yep.
And when people go to purchase a house from time to time, that's one of the first questions the insurance company asks is, does it have an impact-resistant roof on it? And I typically have to go back and ask the seller if that's something, and sometimes we have to go back and look at the roofing company or the roofing information that their company has given us when the roof was put on. So how long does a roof typically last in Kansas? And I'll give you an example. Like a water heater in our area will last 10 to 15 years. So how long does a roof last?
I'd say if you've got a 30-year architectural and you get 20 years out of it, it's done its job. It's done it, pretty much all that it can. From an insurance point of view, I've heard them say that about every 8 to 9 years they're replacing a 30-year roof. So with the storms that we get, obviously we get a lot of nasty storms around here.
So when we get a big storm, should they call their insurance company first or you first?
If it's something that's catastrophic, where you've got holes in your roof, windows broken out, something very clear cut like that, then yes, you probably want to go ahead and contact your insurance first. If it's not as clear cut, give us a call, because we're going to let you know whether or not it exceeds your deductible.
And what's your phone number?
316-680-3145. Directly to me, and we'll take good care of you.
That's your phone number. I was going to say to you.